This is Gabriel Gonzalez for Cage Side Press, and I am here with UFC strawweight Vanessa Little Monster Demopoulos ahead of her fight with Maria Oliveira on November 19th. Vanessa, so just a couple weeks out, I'm assuming right through the heart of training camp. Just talk to me how you're feeling ahead of this one.
Um, I am like rocking and rolling right now. My weight is good. My weight's been like coming down so easy, especially in this last week. It's been so awesome. And I'm feeling good. I just came back from the EBI. I was commentating over the weekend, and it was like the perfect little break that I needed, that I was still like completely engaged with fighting, because like when you're commentating, like you're still like watching and doing analysis and all that. And I brought all my food with me and like my sauna. So like I stayed on top of all of my training that I needed to do, but then I also got to have fun. And like I feel like you need to do that in the middle of training camp.
I did want to ask you about that because I think a lot of fighters would be like, like no offense, but appearances and all that extracurriculars, we could do that on November 20th. Right now we've got a fight to focus on. Just you would stand by it every now and then, a little bit of a field trip during camp. It actually helps the body as in the system as opposed to, being a distraction, others would say.
Oh my gosh, no, I'm a wild child. So it's like I thrive off of like chaos. Like I need that in my life. And I feel like since I started my fight camp, I've been so extraordinarily structured that like I needed that little bit of like breakaway to like go have some fun and everything. And like I thrive off of that stuff. Yeah, I work better when I'm happy, man. A happy monster is a dangerous monster.
To ask you a little bit about that, this is going to be your third appearance in 2022, more than likely, probably the last fight of the year since it's already going to be November. And really, just when you talk about breakout stars of the year, you're probably on the short list in for a lot of people. Just can you even put into words what that's been like? Just a complete change in your life. I see other people talking to you now. I see you have the opportunities with Fight Pass, not just EBI, but during the pay-per-view events. You're obviously doing the stuff with TJ DeSantis over there in the pre-fight show. Can you just talk about the complete 180, obviously going from LFA and working your way up to now, you're one of the more popular girls on the roster, not holding a belt or anything like that.
That's amazing to hear. Yeah. I mean, I went from being, in the LFA and being a stripper to now retired from that profession and getting to be full time in fighting and getting to do fight analysis. The thing that I love the most, I get to do that as my side job on top of doing what I love. Like, yeah, my life is really good right now. I'm extraordinarily happy and I'm honored, that I get the attention of everybody right now. And I'm really looking forward to continuing to grow in that as well. Like it doesn't stop here. This is just the beginning.
Now, obviously, when you came in, everyone kind of flipped out about the whole she's a stripper and all this stuff. And then obviously you retired. Two-part question. The first one, has everyone gotten their fill? Has everyone gotten their questions out about stripping, or is that still like one of the number one things everyone wants to ask you about?
Yeah, I still feel like I still get a lot of questions about it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, like I haven't danced for almost a year now, but it's definitely still like, I mean, it's always going to be a part of the story. And I think it's really cool. It's a very intriguing industry. Like, it's not something that people even talk about. So, I'm open to all of the questions that I get. But yeah, it's definitely still a pretty hot topic.
And then my second part of that question, I do understand that if there is a how's the best way to phrase this? A more famous woman, things like feature dancing and all that become a thing. As your profile has grown, have any of these clubs actually reached out to you to say, "Hey, I know you said you're out of the game, but we have a great offer if you'd like to come back one night only and make some big money to
Oh, no,
switch gear."
yeah.
Nobody hit you up?
No.
I am shocked at that. I feel
But I'm
like
saying I wouldn't, like, even if they tried to, like, I wouldn't.
I was gonna say I feel like some club would have just had the guts to say, "Hey, do you want to try to make some money one more time now that you're famous?" I'm a little shocked at that, just because in our business, I feel like that's like your thing. Someone would have tried to make it happen. So I'm shocked, but
amount of money that they could offer me that would make me want to come back to stripping. So I've closed that chapter in my life. And I feel like if that being a feature entertainer was something that was of interest to me, I would have done that as I was an entertainer. And it was an option. You know, I could have traveled the country and been what they call a feature, and done all of that. And I chose not to because it was taking away from what I wanted to accomplish as a fighter. So I just chose to like take my own path and do it the hard way because I knew that eventually I was going to be exactly where I'm at. So I spent 13 years trying to get out of the industry. I have no interest in going back.
obviously business at hand. Maria Oliveira. I did want to ask you because I know you're good friends with Tabitha Ricci, who fought her. I don't know if you're necessarily part of her camp when she fought Maria, but did you hit up Tabitha in terms of getting a little bit of the tidbits on, hey, what are some of the things you see that we could work on for our fight with Maria?
I was literally there with Tabitha when she fought Maria.
Okay.
So I got to basically be the partner for Tabitha against this fight, which is why when they offered me Maria, I was like, yeah, I know exactly who she is. So yeah, it was a pretty cut and dry thing for me. I had already studied her.
I was going to say, how much does that help as opposed to completely fresh person that maybe none of the team is necessarily in depth familiar with? How much does that help having that experience?
Well, I mean, for me right now, in this point of my career, I study just about everybody, especially being a fight analyst right now for UFC Fight Pass. So I'm like extremely tied into the sport. So I know like everybody on the roster. No one's like brand new to me.
And then another question on that is that obviously it's now become your thing. I feel like every commentator, if they get into the cage with you, they know it's coming now. Just do you even let yourself, it's like whoever it is, maybe it's Bisping, maybe it's a Paul Felder, like you're going to just give them the look and they're going to know to be ready to catch you kind of deal?
I hope I don't have to give them a look. I hope they know that they better catch me because I'm coming in. I'm coming in hot.
I, I have a question. Do you feel like you need to complete the gambit, so to speak? It's like, okay, Joe, Bisping, DC, we got to get an interview with him now. The other guys, do you feel like that's now got to be a thing before it's all over?
Oh, absolutely. Laura Sanko's not safe either. She's also a at some point she's stepping in there. She better be ready to pick me up.
And I think that I think the internet would definitely get a kick out of that one for
That would be
sure.
awesome. Oh my gosh.
Go back to a little bit more stylistically for fans who are going to tune in, what should they expect when you get into cage with Maria?
I mean, she's a crazy fighter, so and I'm pretty wild as well. So I think everybody wins in this matchup. And that mainly speaking of the fans.
And then finally, obviously, a lot of things always go through Fight Ready in Arizona. Just what would you say the vibe is like as you have other teammates, Tracy Cortez, and everyone getting ready for some fights to close out the year?
Yeah, Tracy and I have gotten to work together a lot this camp, and it's been really awesome. You know, like she's in amazing shape right now, and she's focusing on her fight, which is just a few weeks behind mine. We have Luana, who's out here as a training partner, and we have Amy, and this has always been known for a camp to kind of have like the bantamweights as far as men are concerned. So we have a lot of guys that are kind of like similar to like a smaller size and give a great look. And it's just a really perfect camp to be at.
And then I'll leave you with this one. You go out there, you get the W, 3-0 in UFC. What are your goals for 2023?
I mean, I hope to fight at least 4 times in 2023. I love fighting. And it's like so hard for me because I love fighting so much. And I'm like, man, like I just want to compete. I want to fight. I want to travel the world. I want to do all these things. And I'm ready to just lock in and get work done.
Well, Vanessa, I know fans are really looking forward to this one. So best of luck. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Vanessa Little Monster Demopoulos taking on Maria Oliveira on November 19th, UFC Fight Night on ESPN Plus. You guys are not going to want to miss it.